I'm giving it the beats! You can feel that VTEC kick in. Ladies and gentlemen, today we have a 2000 Honda Prelude. This is the base trim. This is not the Type SH, but still a very clean example in crystal blue. In my opinion, this is the best looking, the 5th gen, the final gen is the best looking Prelude that was ever made. I mean, it's a timeless design. It has aged beautifully well. The proportions are all classic sports car. Even though it's front wheel drive, looking at it, you might think it's rear wheel drive with that long bonnet. Honda actually brought this out as a response to some of the sportier other Japanese cars at the time, like the Celica. And every generation they tried to improve and iterate on various things. I believe in the 3rd or 4th they brought double wishbone suspension. I'm here with the owner, Token.
Yep.
Token, thanks for letting us review your car. What have you done to this?
So this car was found in Arizona. The paint's original, interior's original. I put coilovers on it. I use True Hearts. Has strut tower braces in the front and rear, and exhaust intake. That's about it. And also I have the Mugen N1 rims on there.
These are really nice wheels.
These rims are found in Malaysia and are commonly used on Honda Odysseys.
And let's pop the hood. Let's take a look at the engine bay. Powered by the iconic H22 inline 4, cranking out 195 horsepower and about
135 foot-pounds. As you see, it has the engine intake, Tanabe, okay, that's not word. Now shower brace. And that's about it for the engine. I mean, it's not too much. Spark plug wires, but I just try to keep a clean example of everything.
super clean.
It's one of those cars that kind of deserve, like this deserve to kind of be a time capsule. That's the reason why I do it.
With that being said, let's see how she drives.
Yeah, you have to do the 90's.
Time machine, dude. 90's alarm and all.
And the nice thing is this car is speed bump friendly, so it's not low enough we have to go angles on it. Never sat in the passenger seat.
Does this telescope at all? Or just up, down?
Yeah, down.
Up, down. These 90's to, I guess, I mean, this is technically 2000. Yeah. But the 90's Honda interiors to me are just so, they're nostalgic because my dad had a 92 Accord.
Mm-hmm. There you go.
Same kind of materials, yep. Same interior, like same vents and everything.
Yeah, the other thing you want to know is like these, like everything was just made slightly better. Like it was a thicker material. The carpet's even a better carpet.
Because they were trying to make the Prelude a little bit more premium.
Yeah, like just like the car CRX, I just want to buy. Like it's supposed to be a little more premium. Like it has
manual
nice,
handbrake. Haven't seen those in a while.
It's a nice like, foamy dash. Like the splitters. This car actually has the kicker system in it, so which was factory from the dealership.
Now you said do not go into the manual shifting mode because that can with the
the engine. I mean, you can play around with it once or twice, but for the most part, if you own an automatic Prelude and you get it working, if you ask how do you not detonate your engine like you never use Triptronic.
Wow. Then we're not going to around with that today.
But it does look cool on display because you get the little numbers.
So first impressions, the steering is actually a lot heavier than I would expect for a car like this.
It's just my flap setting, you're fine.
Just the underflaps you said?
Yeah.
Okay. I was gonna say, you're like, don't worry about the speed bumps. What? I'm worried about the speed bumps now.
No, it's just a mud flap set, so.
Alright.
Still good.
Just the mud flaps. Front wheel drive. This came with both a 5-speed manual as well as this, the 4-speed automatic.
Yep, and this is probably one of the, I'm not gonna call it the first Triptronic, but it was one of the first attempts to manufacture the other Triptronic. It's sad to say Honda did a bad job at it.
A lot of automatic transmissions from this era, from the 90's, they're just not as good as they are now. So no. they didn't shift as well. They didn't shift as quick. They weren't as smooth. Exactly. You obviously only had 4 speeds rather than 6.
Yep. It was just kind of a cool guy factor to have a dealership to say, or a manufacturer to say, hey, we have this feature.
Now, first impressions, it's a much more raw car. You got to remember, this is over 20 years old. So even the vibrations from the engine and the steering are just you're not used to that anymore. They used to call this the baby NSX actually when it first came out.
Yeah.
Look at things like the dash with the slant is very NSX reminiscent, of course, the first gen NSX. And even the front, I mean, depending on who you are, you can see some similar design language. The first 3 generations of the Prelude came with the pop-up headlights. A lot of people were unhappy when the 4th generation did not. This one obviously does not as well.
Saying this one.
Now this car weighs in right under 3,000 pounds, 2,954 pounds, unless you get the Type SH, which adds the 4-wheel steering, and then it bumps you up a little bit over 3,000. Same with the ATTS, which has a special torque vectoring system. But this is the base trim. We're in the high 2,900, and it feels its weight. It's not. It's not feeling lighter than that. It's not feeling heavier than that. It just handles its weight appropriately. The steering ratio is pretty slow. It's more of a cruiser than a sports car. You have to put a lot of input to get the nose to change direction.
Yeah, we took this on the track, oversteer will be in
I know the traditional oversteer with drifting, but you mean like oversteer as in steering,
Yeah.
putting in a lot more steering input. Turn right here, I'm guessing?
Yeah. Start hitting those roundabouts. I like the car. Less oversteer, but more delayed steering. So it feels like you have to think about your steering
Yeah.
a second before you do it.
Absolutely. I'm giving it the beans! You can feel that VTEC kick in
Yeah, there you go.
right around 5,500.
Yeah, Prelude was just supposed to be an upgraded Civic. That's what this was.
Redline on this is what, 7,400 it looks like?
Yeah.
We don't get that many naturally aspirated high revving engines anymore.
Everything's turbocharged now. So, or hybrid or mixed or EV.
Power!
Back in the day, we got so excited for that.
It's like the theater of VTEC, which is when you feel that extra little push back in your seat. Love it. Yeah, this car, I mean, it does feel underpowered. 195 horsepower in a car that weighs 3,000 pounds. It's, the power to weight ratio is not ideal, and you do feel that. This is not a car that's going to impress you by any means with regards to acceleration. Although it is, because of the VTEC, because of the engine character, it is happier to rev than some other examples. Like the FRS, that car, I mean, you can rev it out, it just sounds very unpleasant. And people complain about that car being slow. This is substantially slower.
Yeah.
At least it feels that way.
It's kind of like with this car, you have to feather the throttle just a little bit to let the transmission catch up to the RPMs. If not, then you kind of feel it jerk a lot. It's trying to shift at a wrong RPM, and you think that you broke the car, but you didn't. That's just how Honda designed this transmission.
Yeah, I'm noticing the transmission is pretty slow to react. Like when I floor it, it shifts once, then it takes another second, then it'll shift again.
Yeah. But when you drive a Prelude, you get used to that.
Yeah. Is this as low as the seat goes?
Yes.
Okay.
And you feel like you're up high, like you're
Yeah, the seating position is a little bit higher than I would like.
Yeah.
Even at the slowest setting, for such a low slung, sporty looking car, here we go. Now we got a corner. Yeah, pretty delayed response in terms of steering input. The turn-in is not immediate. Part of that is the soft suspension. Part of that is the slow steering ratio. This is much more of a GT, comfy cruiser kind of car than a sports car.
Yeah, you're almost in like a Aston Martin type of feel.
So you said we can put this into manual mode?
Yeah, if you want to try it out for a couple times. You gotta click it.
There we go.
You see how it lights up right away? So.
Yeah, so I see 4 right there. We got our gear indicator. There's a bit of a lag.
Like you said, it's not very,
It's like, let's go down. It's like, let me think a second.
Yeah.
Okay, yes, we can go down. Give it the beans.
Yeah.
There's that VTEC.
Like this transmission
the manual shifting mode too often is that it can cause issues with the transmission.
Yeah, the sinkles will go out, and from there it's just death.
Yeah, so I think we got enough of that. I don't want to risk anything.
Yeah, there's a garage in California who specializes in rebuilding these transmissions. It's happened so much that
Wow,
that's what
that
they
a
do.
shop just specializes in it.
And if for a new transmission on a Honda Prelude, it's about $880. Not horrible, but not exactly cheap either. So.
Now I have driven a 4th generation Type SH, which has the 4-wheel steering. It will actually turn the rear wheels in the opposite direction at low speed and in the same direction at high speed for stability. And you can watch that video up here. And the 4-wheel steering actually makes a substantial difference to the handling. So I can feel that this doesn't have the same agility as that 4th gen with the Type SH. Now this car you can buy in Type SH here in the States, but again, this is the base trim.
Yep.
Very impressive that Honda was doing that back in the 90s.
Exactly.
Super impressive.
Where's the first round? I think it's
Alright. See as she corners. Yeah, a little bit understeer.
Oh yeah, like I said, and that in a front wheel drive car is kind of different.
Yeah, there's a lot of lean on this.
Oh,
The
yeah.
body control is not very good. This is pretty soft suspension, pretty soft chassis overall that you can feel as well. Not the most rigid thing.
Yeah, but as a cruiser, it's kind of what you want. But
Yeah, as a cruiser,
as a track car, it's the opposite of what you want. Like,
fine as a cruiser, but even for twisty mountain roads, you're gonna feel a lot of limitation with this vehicle. You're not gonna be able to get it to dance and rotate and play with you as you push it. This is one of those cars that you don't really want to push beyond, 6/10, maybe even 7/10, because beyond that it's gonna fall apart.
yeah, this is not your SCCA car or cone dodging car by any means. This is taking a dump you off by trailers.
Woo! There we go. So much drama and yet you barely move forward. I love it. That's what driving's about though, like a fun car on the road gives you the drama without the speed, because then you can enjoy it. You can enjoy that drama a little bit more.
Exactly.
A slow car driven fast is more fun than a fast car driven slow.
Yeah, I think because with all the downsides this car has, it makes you work just that much extra to have a lot more fun.
Oh, these brakes are squishy.
Yep, these are all been bled and all kinds of ones.
Yeah, these, I mean, you can even see the rotors are quite tiny.
Yep.
And there isn't much initial bite at all. You need to really travel quite a bit to get it to slow down. There isn't much feel to the brake pedal either. Again, more in line with that GT, more comfy cruiser kind of vibe, rather than sports car.
That's why when this car came out, if somebody sees this car, like, oh, my girlfriend had one, or my best friend's sister had one.
Yeah.
Because that's who was buying them.
Overall, this car is about, like, should you buy one today? That's the question that we want to answer. And these will probably go for what like $10,000 roughly.
For a clean one, yes.
So you could get one for even less than that if it's not so clean. And this is a time machine. The nostalgia is the main draw of this car, because can you get something that's more comfortable? Sure. Can you get something that drives better? Sure. But the styling of this car, the way that it makes you feel, the way that it takes you back to the 90s when you were in your dad's Honda Accord or whatever that was, that's what this car is about. It has actually a very lovable engine. It's a fun, rev-happy, VTEC engine. It's what made Honda so iconic, was their engines back in the day. This was really the finale for the Honda Prelude. It had a good long run from 1978 until 2001. This was its final form. After that, they had the RSX for front-wheel drive. They had the Honda S2000 for rear-wheel drive. So this is really something that, it's a time machine. It takes you back. A different era.
Everybody always has a Prelude story.
Everyone has a Prelude story.
Yeah.
Let me know what you guys think, my friends. Comment down below. If you haven't already, make sure you're subscribed. Much love, and I'll see you guys in that next one. Oh, roundabout one more time. Let's see how she handles. Oh, he's got the grab handle.